Ooh, this next one's gonna be super controversial. We're gonna be diving into the evil autism subreddit for the third time. You'll get the gist of what evil autism is all about pretty quickly, I think. I hope you like the new horns. Don't worry, the old horns haven't gone anywhere. The old horns will come back around as well. But yeah, I saw these on Vinted for really cheap. I was like, yeah, we need some light up horns. We definitely do. So the first post, I'm autistic and my special interest is cheating on my wife. Okay, 861 likes. Hello, I'm an autistic male. I've been able to find assistance and a relationship with a woman that I am very happy with. However, I have a hyperfixation with cheating on my wife that has replaced my interest in cargo liners. Oh no, constantly think of how to get away with cheating on my wife, and I have successfully pulled such heists multiple times. I'm assuming this is a joke. As I have carefully coordinated methods without my wife having the slightest inkling of doubt, I don't enjoy the sex all that much. I am just amazed I have been able to successfully cheat 12 times without anyone noticing. I think this is considered evil. That is why I'm posting it here. I'm really scared that this is actually true. I really hope not. What do the comments say? I'm calling shenanigans. No autistic person loses their interest in cargo liners. I don't even really know what a cargo liner is. I'm sorry. I think I just lost my autism diagnosis then. Oh my gosh. Sherlock Holmes would be put to shame by your deductive powers. As if the stereotypical Autie could handle the break-in routine required to cheat. This is my favourite shitpost yet. What if he's not? What if he knows that everyone's going to assume it's not real? And therefore he knows he can get away with it? I'm suspicious. Because of how many infidelity things I read on Reddit these days, I had to stop for a second to consider whether this is real. Someone said, took me a second. Maybe the Am I the Asshole subreddit has kind of scarred us or something. I don't know. I'm like, I don't trust you. This post would upset me, but the thing is, being autistic myself, I know that you're actually being shit about secrecy. You probably subconsciously vocalize, time to fuck my secretary now, as you're leaving the house without even realizing it. To say nothing of the post-it notes you've been leaving around the house. Your wife knows, my friend. She knows, but has a massive cheating kink. She has literally never been happier and is probably spying on you through your watch or something equally ingenious. Have fun with your special interest. Oh my god. You're lying. Your new special interest is wallpaper patterns of the 1930s and we all know it. Someone put rookie numbers. My dad could run laps around you. I love smoothies in all caps, but the blender is evil. Why can there be no pleasure in life without pain? My favorite snack lies behind a wall of whirring blades and screaming motors. I don't know if any other autistic people are like, even when a sound doesn't bother me that much, I'm very hyper aware of the fact that the sound could bother someone else, because I would probably be bothered if someone else started making that sound. I think this is kind of where the double empathy problem comes in. Like, I realize now that a lot of things I used to do to kind of accommodate people in my life are kind of pointless. Like, I don't play videos out loud because it kind of annoys me when other people play videos that I'm not listening to when I'm trying to concentrate on something else. So I put my headphones on and think, oh, I'm being such a good citizen of the earth. I'm being such a good household member here by putting my headphones on. And now I realize, like, nobody probably would have cared if I'd played them out loud, because it only bothers me because I'm autistic. So, I mean, not that people who aren't autistic can't be bothered by the sound of a video, but it particularly bothers me for that reason. Yeah, like when I use a blender, I'm like, oh my gosh, the neighbors, what are the neighbors gonna think? I have to like make sure all the windows are shut. I'm like, oh, need to be careful that this doesn't bother anyone else. I usually put my headphones on and just turn them up and listen to something while the blender's on, or I'll sometimes just close the door and go out of the room, but I feel like I need to watch it in case like stuff starts flying everywhere. I don't know. I just feel like it needs to be babysat. But yeah, no, I get it. I mean, also just feeding yourself in general. Why are there gotta be so many steps, you know, to like preparing food? I would eat a lot more if the food would just, you know, be a bottle of fuel, basically. All caps, comment, I am president of the anti-blender smoothie coalition, newly formed and accepting members, must hate the blender and love the smoothie. Someone said, can I join? Smoothies are the best, but blenders are the worst. Yes, smoothies can be a good way to get some calories in with like little effort. Still, sometimes it can feel like too much effort. Lots of people asking to join. There seems to be a popular opinion. Don't find the blender, harmonize with the blender, place your hand firmly atop the blender and buzz your lips. Try to match the blender's vibration vibrations and frequencies. I am not flirting, I just like machines. The next one's called, Dear man who was playing the saxophone at the bar, I was not asking you about how your saxophone worked as an excuse to talk to you. I just wanted to know how all the little buttons and levers and tubes work. I know some people start conversations like that out of interest in the person rather than the topic, but just because I look like a girl does not mean I autismically, sorry, I got confused. I'm not autismically interested in the mechanical parts with a heart hand. Yes, this is the kind of thing where I wish I could push a button and a little symbol with a pear over my head. What? And a little symbol would appear. Is that what they mean? Saying autism, special interest. And then people would be, okay, cool. Now the problem would be if I was having a special interest and flirting, and then I would press a second button and then a sign would say, and also flirting. Everything would be so much easier if we ruled the universe, wouldn't it? Someone put, oh fuck, wait, this makes sense. Help. I regularly compliment strangers and ask questions about things they are wearing, / interacting with, and never connected the dots. Everyone must think I'm some flirt when I just want to make the other person feel good about themselves and learn about their interests. That's true. Yeah, I think just as well when you're masking and you're fawning a lot. So, you know, like obviously there's the threat response is fight or flight. There's also freeze, but then there's also fawn, which is where, you know, you try and make yourself look appealing to whatever's threatening you to try and, you know, mitigate the threat. And I think that's what a lot of autistic people do in social situations. We fawn, we are very smiley and very like over the top nice and maybe very complimentary. Also because maybe we've been made to feel bad socially, and so we're very hyper aware that we don't want to make other people feel like that. And then that can sometimes come across as flirting, particularly if you're like someone who's perceived as female and you're talking to a straight guy. I feel like there's quite a risk of that happening, and maybe that's what happened to me sometimes when I look back in the past. I'm like, oh, I've had like business interactions with people where they've suddenly started saying like really flirtatious things, and maybe that says more about them than it does about me. I don't know, maybe they would have said it regardless, but it makes you wonder like, where did you get that idea from now? And you have to like kind of awkwardly shut it down, and it's like, why did you make me have to do that? I was just trying to work. Oh, this next one's gonna be super controversial. I fucking hate dogs so much. They're so loud and stinky, and they never leave you alone. And also, they're unpredictable, not to mention how they jump at you, lick you, worst pets ever. I hate that you can't walk down the street without one of them barking at you through a fence. You know they jump over it and maul you if they could. There is one really nasty dog when I like walk with my son home. Sometimes he sometimes wants to do this particular shortcut. It is such a loud, unpleasant dog. I'm not a fan of that dog. Any autistic people who have dogs, I think I've said this before in a recent video, how do you cope with the barking? How do you cope with the barking? I have family members who are most likely autistic who do have dogs. They don't like the barking very much, I don't think, but obviously they feel like the pros outweigh the cons there. Lyris's parents have a dog. The barking, man, it is painful. I sit there and I found myself like blinking a lot while she's barking, like it's not great. I don't know how you could live with it, because often they'll bark like at anything basically. They are stinky. Like even if you wash them, then they just kind of smell like dog plus soap, dog plus perfume. Like they still kind of stink, you know? Yeah, never leave you alone. Although my cat never leaves me alone. She's just like meow, meow at me all day. It's kind of like having a barking dog sometimes. They jump at you, lick you. Yeah, I hate it. Dogs start jumping up at you. Whenever I go to my in-laws' house, I have like my tote bag and I hold it over my legs, like kind of shield myself from the jumping dog. And it kind of works quite effectively because I can't cope with the idea of like the claws catching on my clothes as well. I don't like that. I don't know, it's just a lot. It's just kind of overwhelming and I never feel like I'm prepared for it. I'd make a terrible postman. I'd be so scared all the time. Let's see if people agree in the comments or if there's like a full-on war, because I feel like dog lovers can be very enthusiastic, almost as enthusiastic as dogs can be. I've said before that I prefer cats because if a cat doesn't like you, they'll just leave you alone, but if a dog doesn't like you, it has to let everyone know it. Oh yeah, my in-law's dog will bark at me if I like interact with my child too much to try and protect him from me. I'm like, thank you, this is my child that I carried around in my body. A cat would never. Behavior-wise, dogs have ADHD and cats have autism. Cats are autistic. Yeah, I've heard the cats are autistic thing all the time. They definitely have PDA because you put them somewhere. You're like, oh, why don't you sit here? This will be cozy. Come sit next to me. They have to walk off. It has to be their own idea to go and sit there. And then cats are also very picky with food as well. I know they're just very clean, very particular about things. That should mean that I've got an ADHD diagnosis as well, that I'm like equally a dog and a cat person, but I'm not. Maybe it means I'm more on the autistic side of whatever the hell it is. I just found out I'm a cat dog. Yeah, that's what I was saying. 100% dogs are a sensory nightmare. They are. I'm really not a fan. And like, I think people find that confusing because they're like, oh, you're vegan, you're supposed to love animals. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to eat it. I don't want it to be dead. I mean, I'd actually prefer if people would stop breeding dogs for pets, and particularly a lot of dogs that have a lot of health complications. There's a lot of problems I have with dog ownership. I certainly don't want dogs to suffer, but I don't want to have to suffer by being in their presence either. Agree 1000%. Dogs bite. Yes, they smell. They're loud. They're chaotic in the bad way. Caps. And they shit everywhere. Cats are superior. My cat has wiped her bum on my carpet several times though. And I think I have found a blob of poo. I'm pretty sure most cats have evil autism. Stim by kneeling paws and purring. Need long naps after socializing. Prefer routines. Jump at loud noises. And prefer certain textures. Oh yeah, that's where I really relate to cats. Like when their ears start going back because someone's being loud, I'm like, yeah, they are being loud, aren't they? And nobody else notices that except from us. Because we are the cats. But yeah, I think in many ways people probably don't deserve pets, to be honest. Shitty dog owners are causing most of that list. No, that's not true. Dogs do smell and dogs do bark, and there's nothing. There's no amount of good ownership that can change that. I researched Autism Speaks for 10 minutes and got filled with rage. Let's see how angry I'll get if you teach me properly how horrible they are. This one's been categorized as murderous autism. So if you haven't seen, over on my Patreon, I do 2 exclusive videos there every month. The first one that I did was on Autism Speaks, so I reacted to their old really controversial advert that they did that's like, I am autism, I work faster than AIDS, that terrible advert that they did. And then I kind of looked, because that was, you know, the argument that Autism Speaks makes is, well, that was a mistake and it was a long time ago, so like, have they actually changed? Have they actually improved and, you know, moved on from that at all? I'll leave it linked down below. Everyone, even on the lowest tier, which is $4 a month, will get access to all the exclusive videos. Shitty YouTuber. Is that a particular YouTuber? Or just shitty YouTubers in general? Am I a shitty YouTuber? Made great videos on it. How they tortured kids with electroshock therapy and the like. Let me know if you want the links. Also, if it's a Rick Roll or Blue Lobster, I will come for your family. Yeah, I assume with the electric shock thing, they're talking about ABA therapy and how Autism Speaks kind of still promotes ABA therapy, which I did touch on in the video that I did about how not stimming as an autistic person is more dangerous than you think. ABA therapy is definitely a topic that I want to touch on more in the future. They more or less sponsored Sia's movie music. They made a commercial once where it basically said, hey kids, do you have autism? You do? Great, your parents will want a divorce and it's all your fault. Have fun. And that was one of the more tame things I was gonna say. That's the advert that I reacted to on Patreon. Yeah, that's one of the more tame things for sure. It's worse than that. They worded that much more nicely than this advert did. They sponsored a documentary called Autism Every Day, where a mother talks about wanting to drive off a bridge with her autistic daughter in a car here. Someone said, I'm pretty sure they're to us what PETA is to animals. Yeah, as a vegan, PETA has not had some great takes. There is some not great takes from PETA about autism. I feel like PETA just exists to say like controversial shit. My eyes. Oh my gosh, what is this? What am I looking at? You already knew the spork. Now we present you the foon. No. So at the end of each of the little, what are they called? When I did the choose your fork video, everyone, is it tines? Everyone was using the word and I was like, learned something new there. Okay, there's 4 little spoons at the end. How would you use that? You could have a soup. You could dish up a small bit of soup, a little bit on each of the spoons for taking tiny sips of soup, someone said. That's what I said. Or almost dry bites of cereal. I hope every utensil you ever touch is a foon, you evil bastard, someone said. Oh no, that foon looks nice to chew on though, someone said. That's very, very funny. If you haven't chosen your fork yet, go over after watching this video to the Autistic Choose Your Fork beam video, because it's quite fun. And you choose your fork, and none of them are that bad, but hopefully soon they'll find a cure for these poor souls ravaged by this horrific disease. This is categorized as vengeful autism. The neurotypical spectrum. Judgmental for no reason. Utter lack of knowledge about random topics. No interests. Oh gosh, that feels a bit mean. I have quite a lot of allistic, non-autistic people in my life who definitely have interests, but I know this is a joke. Lack of sensory sensitivity. Sometimes I feel like my husband has like no sense of taste and no sense of smell, but then at the same time, like some autistic people also feel like their senses are underactive and they're like hyposensitive. So I don't know, that's a tricky one. Constantly lies, unable to communicate clearly. Yeah, indirect communication for sure. I feel like there are more that could go on there. If you're around neurotypical people who constantly lie to you though, you need to get some new Autistic neurotypical friends. I think, you know, like my husband's a very like honest person, well, as far as I know. And I've definitely known autistic people to lie. Just saying. They most certainly can lie. It can kind of be dangerous if you believe like that autistic people can't lie and then you kind of take everything that an autistic person has to say. It could kind of leave you open to like manipulation or something. So be careful. A lot of people can lie regardless of, you know, what umbrella category they fall under. I'm personally not very good at it and I don't like it. I much prefer direct communication for sure. I bet it was the vaccines, to be honest. Just the top comment. It's clearly the anti-vax on the contrary. Those poor brains have been damaged by childhood illnesses that scrambled their communication capacities and destroyed their pattern recognition. Nah, dude, the vaccines are the cure for neurotypical spectrum disorder. They give us our autistic powers. Get vaxxed regularly to increase your autism XP and level up. You should start an organization to find a cure for them. Maybe call it Autism Speaks. We just have to make sure to not actually let Autistic speak. They couldn't possibly know what's best for them, considering how severely impaired they are. Best for us to just do the talking and decision making. Maybe we should start an organization with cutesy franchising offering a cure. The propaganda should be easy since they are so susceptible to advertising already. Forgot to add can't think for themselves. Someone said, it's not a disease. Don't listen to that crap. They just need to put more effort in. For real, they're just using it as an excuse for their shortcomings. Where's the bit about being ugly? Someone said. That's so mean. Any neurotypical / Autistic people watching this, you're not ugly, don't worry, and you're very, very welcome to be on this channel. I think it's just kind of a way for autistic people to laugh and let off steam and kind of just reverse the narrative that we've heard for a little bit. As I said, feel free to go over and check out the stuff on Patreon if you want to. There's also a Discord server. If you missed the last evil autism video that we did, Jesus was diagnosed as autistic by the forum, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye!